All right, let's talk about assignment number 3, even though it's week 2. So just keep that in mind. Week 1 had assignment 1 as the discussion board, easy. Assignment 2, writing 200 words minimum. And then assignment 3 is going to be 600 to 750 words. Still kind of light work in terms of a whole week's worth of writing. You're going to read the inspired writer versus the real writer and then answer 4 questions. Keep track of the bottom of the assignment. Says the total word count for this assignment, numbers 1 to 4 complete, should be 600 to 750 words. Okay? And then where are we headed, right? So we're in week 2 of the semester. We've got assignment number 3. We're still doing some, light work. When we get to assignment 4, that's where we get the draft. So we're headed towards the literacy narrative. So let's talk a little bit about that. What exactly is a literacy narrative? It's a narrative essay. So let's unpack those 2 phrases. Literacy narrative. Literacy is your reading and writing. So the development of your reading and writing skills and abilities. Back to my mom and dad were very verbal around me. I was surrounded by language. They read to me. I started reading. They encouraged me. We went to the library. I started school. I had a fill in the blank favorite teacher or class or assignment. And now I am a CCP student in high school. In English 101, I love English, or I'm very skilled at it. Can I pick an experience to narrate? So literacy narrative. I'm narrating an experience with my development, my love or hate of literacy, my reading and writing, reading or writing. And then narrative essay is kind of a juxtaposition of what we would really consider 2 opposite forms of writing. So narrative, I'm telling a story. Essay, I'm informing. So really what's going on in a narrative essay is that, if I can break it down as easily as possible, you're bookending a story with information, with explaining. So the first paragraph is going to give context, set the stage of the experience, right? So if I'm going to talk about being in 4th grade, what's the school? How old am I? What year is it? So just get out of the mindset of, this is my experience, I understand it, I can picture it, I know the context, and take the perspective of someone who doesn't know you, has never really interacted with you. What kind of contextual information will they need to situate themselves in your story and be comfortable in it and really understand it? So if you think about it from my point of view, in a regular college class, somebody might be taking this class as a CCP student, and they might be 16, 17. There might be somebody fresh out of high school who's 18, 19. There might be somebody returning to college from the workforce at 25, 26, 30, 40, 60. So 4th grade can mean a lot of different things for somebody who is 18 versus somebody who's 65. All right, so 4th grade when, right? What school, things like that. So you're setting the stage is basically what the introduction is doing. Plus you are giving the takeaway. That would be more of your thesis statement, the point. What did you learn from the experience? And even if you write about a person who had a significant impact on you, you're still going to have to pick an experience. And I do want to point you to the line in the assignment that says narrate an experience. Narrate an early memory. Describe someone who taught you to write and explain this. Those are options, but it does say focus on a specific event. So even if you pick the person who was influential in your life, you got to nail it down to one experience that to you exemplifies or highlights the impact that they had on you. So you're going to set the stage in your introduction, give the takeaway, and then you go into story mode. We know story. So even if you're not a reader, you watch streaming shows, they're fabricated, made up, telling a story. So they're engaging, interesting, there's dialogue, there's description. You're going to have to put that on the page. So think about it in terms of a paragraph of explanation to set the stage. Then I'm telling a story, like a short story. And then in the conclusion, I'm starting with my thesis again in different words. So I'm giving the takeaway, and then I am wrapping it up. It's going to be 1,500 words. So it would be good now in week 2 to start percolating some ideas. Start thinking about, what is my background, right, with literacy? What are some experiences I might be able to write about? And then am I able to kind of unlock in my brain some memories that I probably have not accessed in a long time? Okay. And if you're worried about, am I going to be true to the dialogue that happened, a decade ago, if it's a early memory, you just have to have the spirit of what you think was said. So that's something that people who write memoirs or autobiographies come up against. You just have to be true in spirit. Try to get it as close to what you think was the actual conversation. So work dialogue in there. If you don't know how to use quotation marks and punctuation correctly, you could go to a mentor text. What could be a mentor text from you? Literally pull any book off the shelf that is published writing, that has quotation marks. Just look at it, look at the commas being placed inside the quotation marks, the she said, he said, in ways to get around being very repetitive with that kind of things. And that, like I said in a previous video, is where we start working on your voice. So your writing style. These are things that you have a choice over to a degree, how you want to put your dialogue on the page, how you want to represent thoughts versus narration, things like that. So have fun with it. That's the thing that I can tell you is if you shift your perspective from this is something I have to do to something that I want to do, this class is just a speed bump in the way towards getting to some future plan, and look at it in terms of what it's trying to do, which is teach you to be a better writer. You can embrace the process. So I look forward to reading your work again. We're in week 2. So for this week, you have assignment 3 due. I'm just talking about assignment 4 because I want you to start thinking about it. And raise your hand if you have any questions or concerns. But remember, no AI in the planning, the writing, the revising, or the editing at no part of the process. So remember, this is your literacy narrative based on one experience in your life. So this should be about you, by you. Use your brain, use a document, and that's as far as it goes outside of that bubble. And it's your work. And that's what I want to read. Your work, written with your unique vocal fingerprint. Embrace the struggle. And I promise you, I will give you good feedback. You can make the changes. You could sign up for office hours, do whatever you want, and make progress. And we can move through the semester. And hopefully by the end, you become a better writer and you feel more confident to move on in your college classes. All right.